last 1 month blood sugar, don't be in a new, especially when you clock the age of 40. By then, your health is beginning to take an uphill task. Manage your health so that you can live as much as 100.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayo Mesale. Happy Democracy Day, ladies.
Hello.
And I have finally back on set our Honorable Milola. Damilola Otubanjo.
What's up?
Oh my goodness, it's been ages.
Yes.
Now we actually did miss you.
We missed you.
I miss my ladies.
So tell us, how has it been since after the primaries and all of that?
We had the primaries, it was some experience, you know, but when you go on that kind of journey, you're able to understand what's going on better than a lot of people that are speculating.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I discovered about that life is hope is a bad thing. Hope is a bad thing.
Hope is not a strategy.
Hope is a bad thing. A lot of people have hope. They don't have understanding. The hope that someday something is going to change. The belief that somehow things are going to get better. If you do not understand the fact, if you don't understand the situation, you can keep hoping till you pass out, till you literally die. And you know, you go into a meeting, you hear an outcome, you go out, you hear people have hope. And sometimes you don't want to dash their hope and just smile. Say, it's going to be fine. Well, you know that
It's not going to be fine.
it was an experience for me. I learned a lot, and I'm grateful I did take that bold step.
It is a big step.
I
happy you
have
did.
no regret.
And the good
whatsoever.
thing about it is that, you see, when you try things like that, you are never back to square one. So
No.
you are like 10 times.
You have the experience, you have the
Yeah.
platform.
No, sometimes it depends on how you process it and what you do afterwards. If you run back out of the race, out of disappointments, you can go back to square one.
Yeah.
You can go back to square one.
Sure.
But if you understand that it's not personal, it has nothing to do with what I can do or what I did not do right. It's just the way the system is.
You know, like,
And
you are
know-
just trying to serve.
Yes, and you know that it will take time before people catch on you. And change is not something that a lot of people embrace, even though we say
Yes.
so much about we want change. We really are not prepared for change.
Absolutely.
Sure.
How are you, Manny?
I'm
What did you do
fine.
today?
Today, I worked. Yeah.
Oh,
I prepared-
really?
Yes, I did work. Prepared agreements. And no, I'm a business owner. I'm not waiting for someone to pay me salary at the end of the month. I have to make it. So I worked, yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
so
Well
glad
done.
I have you on my team.
Yes.
You mess with me, I sue your ass.
Please call me.
Lola. You're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Democracy is not an easy form of government because it is never final. It is a living, changing organism with a continuous shifting and adjusting of balance between individual freedom and general order. Right? That's the quote for today. We're asking the question, how have we fared? You know, can we say that our democracy is a success in Nigeria? Now, the core of democracy is the principle of popular sovereignty, which holds that government can be legitimated only by the will of those whom it governs, although the current political reality of the country may beg to differ. So yesterday, June 12, was Democracy Day, and today, Milola, Manny, and I are here to discuss the topic. Has democracy succeeded in Nigeria? We'll do that But first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. If you no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 they pay.
All right, so International Albinism Awareness Day is marked every year on the 13th of June to bring awareness among the people about albinism and the rights of people with albinism. Abi, that's it. different types of events are organized to educate people and celebrate people with albinism who still face human rights violations in the mid-2000s. There were reports of violent attack and murders of people with albinism in Tanzania. The attacks were advocated with the belief that people with albinism possess magical powers. As a result, in 2015, 70 people were killed and even more were harmed. Now, due to this, the Tanzania Albinism Society and other NGOs came together to lobby for the rights of people with albinism. Now, the day first became official when the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution in 18th of December 2014 that proclaimed 13th of June as International Albinism Awareness Day with effect from 2015. Whew. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. So I had a friend in secondary school, a classmate, I'll call her. She was completely black. Her sister was completely white. You know, we had a lot of those people in families. You know, but I don't know. It seems to be prevalent in certain demography, like the Yoruba people.
I don't think so.
Right?
I think it's
all
everywhere.
tribes,
Yeah,
right? But
I think
I've hardly seen any.
Yes,
but yes.
You don't even find it anywhere. It just brings up someone just
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
baby
I
and
think
a child.
what they say is it skips generations.
Yeah.
Yes, and then just appears. One of my very good friends still now is an albino, and he's very, very good.
But the only good thing, the only thing I always say to them, please protect your skin. Wear loads of sunscreens because again, a lot of them suffer from skin cancer.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends, family friends, he passed on, as a result of skin cancer. So because because they don't have any form of melanin or whatever, so no protection,
no top layer,
no top layer. So you have to actually. That's why a lot of them avoid the sun. So when you see them start to have patches, all those, it's the effect. So I think,
So that means it's even better to just leave Nigeria altogether.
Yeah, or stay away from them. Just, stay away. It's okay, so who are we starting with? Milola, what did you find for us in the news?
Okay, let me jump
Why don't you welcome back?
Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. What I have in the news is about today's situation, and it goes to talk about power. Blackout as national grid collapses for the 6th time in 2022. What month are we in again? May.
June.
So we've had like an average of one timeout collapse a month this year. It's quite sad. Considering the state of the economy, considering the size of our economy, it is not acceptable to find ourselves having such situation, but this is what we found in the news. And this is from the Just Disco. Dear esteemed customers, the management of Just Electricity Distribution PLC wishes to inform the general public that the current outage being witnessed as a result of system collapse. We hope to restore supply as soon as supply is restored. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
So does this explain?
It doesn't
Because
explain
I saw
anything.
I saw an animation today. I was wondering what was it, but I didn't even have the patience to read it. I saw, you know how you do skipping rope, where somebody would be at the other end and I will be at the other end
then
with
you're
the rope.
You're generating
looping.
Yeah.
So what the animated image was one. Let them put up that picture. What do they call the mast?
Okay.
One mast of the power line and another mast of the power line. They were looping the cable, and while another one was dancing and jumping in the middle. So now I understand what happened.
So that means there's no light.
Nothing. It becomes a playground for children.
Oh, wow. I saw that. I was wondering why did they do this? So now I understand it.
Now, one thing I do not understand is every state have their distribution companies. And this letter is from Jos Disco. I wonder how it affects Lagos particularly, because since last night we've not had a wink.
You really think
Because there's a connection. Because if it's the transmission company, I can understand. If the distribution companies has a power outage, there's something wrong. Is that we're not getting the correct information as to the state of the light or what is really responsible? Because once the transmission networks is active, it is only the particular disco that serves a particular area that should be affected. It's not something that is supposed to spread across the entire country.
We'll need to see.
So for me, I think our problem is we lack accountability and the right information that is being put in the public space. And because a lot of the time Nigerians just pass this thing information over and they never question them.
So yeah, I think
it doesn't make sense.
I have
to
a
me.
few friends in the Ministry of Power. It now would be the right time to actually, because this is actually alarming. So if you say in 6 months, it means that every single
one
why
month
must we have
power?
So that means there's a problem. Do you know what the problem is? Are you trying to fix
solve
the problem?
Yes, absolutely.
So normally nothing happens in Nigeria. We will still have a 9th one in September and a 10th one in October.
Absolutely. All right, so Manny, your story, please.
No PVC, no church.
Wow.
Yes,
seriously?
I like that.
You want to call for your video quickly?
Yes, is there a video? I think there's a picture. Yeah, so a Catholic priest sends back members without PVCs. A video has gone viral on social media showing a Catholic priest asking members without their PVCs to return home. The video has been shared by multiple Twitter and YouTube users, although the details remain sketchy as to where and when the occurrence took place. I think we already know where and where.
It was in
Jos, yes, Plateau. The Catholic priest in the video was seen at the entrance admonishing members of the church that henceforth persons who want to partake in Mass must have their PVC on them, and if they do not have, they should not even bother coming to church.
Wow.
So this occurrence has stirred both negative and positive reactions from Nigerians. Some have hailed the Catholic priest for his effort in ensuing voter awareness and sensitizing his community to the ongoing political process ahead of the 2023 general elections, while some have chastised him for doing such in a place of worship, accusing him of contravening the human right to freedom of association of the congregation. So what do you girls think? Did he do good or bad? Okay, let me read the last part, the most recent news. However, in a statement released, the Director of Communications of the Diocese, Reverend Father Andrew Diwan Danjuma, stated that the action of the priest does not have the approval of the bishop, nor is it a policy of the diocese. The statement adds that the action of the bishop stance is regretted.
So it's a disclaimer.
So what do you think?
Yes.
So for me, I've said it. I don't know how many million times I will say it. I will keep on saying it. Even what the priest is doing, yes, it's a good start, but it is already too late. I mean, Damilola can testify to it. If she had cerebral minds as delegates at her primaries, would not be speaking this English. By now, she'd be planning to win an election.
Yeah, but,
right?
but you know that the delegates have succeeded in handing us these people. But are you trying to say it's too late at this point?
at this junction
in
of saying,
choosing
so yeah,
from the
because
people they
yeah,
handed
because
to
guess
us.
what? We are
Nothing,
going
nothing.
back to square one where we are always going to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
but
I like the awareness.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to everybody that cares to listen, this is not, and I'm not even about 2023. I'm focusing on 2027 and beyond.
Thank you.
Can we start to advocate that before you enter the church, produce your, what's it called?
Oh, so-
Party card.
So your support party card.
Party
That's a different
card.
angle. Okay.
Produce your, it is not about the PVC right now.
PVC
right?
is
PVC is good.
overrated.
It is overrated.
Trust me, people do not know that your PVC is not as important as your understanding of the political system that we operate
Thank
in
you.
and our desire to participate. A lot of people, I see people clamoring for PVC, and I say, is it really about PVC? People can take PVC, but will they go out and vote?
It is, see, even if they
Are
go out to
okay,
vote, Lola,
are they aware if their level of participation has any meaningful or significant impact to the electoral process? For me, it's beyond PVC. I saw a post by one of our lady on social media, really agitating and everything. I said, if I'd never stepped out of the box
You wouldn't
to
know.
go into politics, I would not understand what is going on. And just like when you said the delegates have given us people, the delegate did not give us anything. The people that picked the delegates gave us the people
Yeah,
that
true.
to pick the ticket. So I found out real
hand
that
experience.
primaries is a selection process. It's not an election. The party, the government, the people, the key decision makers decides who gets a ticket. So even the delegates are just running an errand. They're just following
Yeah.
instructions.
So it actually
the power
starts
is
from
not
the
even,
ward.
The power is not even entirely in the hands of the delegates. So when you do not understand how interlocked this thing is, you will start to address the fruit when really we should go down to
the roots.
Absolutely. On
Yeah.
that note, we leave it there. So I've said this, the politician has said it. So my story is from the desk of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
And he says our democracy in the country is growing, you know. So he made reference to this while he was giving a speech represented by his boss Mustafa, right? The Secretary to the Federation. He was represented at the speech where he was giving an interdenominational church service in Abuja. He stated this, and according to him, Nigeria rose to the occasion where colonial powers subjugated the people and lorded over the resources. He said Nigerians rose to the occasion following the ravages of civil war to rebuild a country, no matter how imperfect. He said that we rose to the occasion when enduring military dictatorship pushed us to the edge of extinction and negotiated our way into a democracy that provides a platform for us to build a country we can all be proud of. And he said that, you know, the 2015 was the first time a sitting president will be in power, and, you know, there will be a successful transfer of power without any rancor. And again, he also mentioned the just concluded primaries, that, you know, the fact that we are, you know, we ran primaries and they were not court cases and all of those things flying all over the place. It tells us that our democracy is growing, you know. So he says our democracy was hard won by Nigerians from the trenches of the 6 geopolitical zones. Our struggles for a better country was always been detribalized. So he says it is important to note that our commemoration of Democracy Day was recently moved, again, by this same administration from May 29th to June 12th in honor of the political leaders that fought, you know, from the South. So, I like it.
Is our democracy really growing?
That's why I took this story. So democracy works all the more so in a heterogeneous union like ours through negotiations and compromises carried out in good faith, and each year brings us closer to a more perfect union, a more mature democracy. So I'm going to ask that question again. Have we had a successful run when it comes to democracy? And that's the conversation we're going to be having when we come back from the break. Stay with us.
It is engagement we need to have. have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Many forms of government have been tried and will be tried in this world of sin and woe. No one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. This was a quote by Winston Churchill. Now, according to an online publication, in the Nigerian context, democracy is something much talked about, a set objective pursued with apparent vigor, but not yet attained. Now, for almost half a country, almost half a century, Nigerians have been searching for democracy through constitutional reforms and intricate political engineering and experimentation spelled out in successful or successive transition programs. Now, they have, however, been continuously disappointed because, according to John Garner, in a quote, he said, or Gardner, he says, democracy is measured not by its leaders doing extraordinary things, but by its citizens doing things extraordinarily well. Now, do the citizens really matter in all of these things? So today we want to hear what you have to say about our democracy in Nigeria. Do you think it has succeeded? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WaveShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaveShow. So this is actually interesting. And why I particularly took the story about the Vice President saying that our democracy is growing was based on the topic that we're having today, asking if our democracy has succeeded, right? So, so he made a lot of statements, the parameters he used, you know, how successful government, you know, I mean, there was a president in power, and there was successful overturn of that party, and there was no rancor, peaceful transitioning. You know, he talked about that in the last couple of weeks, primaries have been held by political parties, big and small, across the country without violence, rancor, or prevalence of bitter court cases as have characterized the process in the times past, right? So he says we are growing. And he said the social contract between government and the people with the ballot arbiters is daily being strengthened. So he's trying to also give credit to the power of the thumb and the electorate and all of that. So the combined effort of the government, the people, and civil society across federations are bringing us closer to our highest democratic ideas and aspirations. So this is a day for gratitude and hope, a day to remind ourselves that what was once thought impossible of Nigeria has been proven possible, and that what is yet considered so is well within our grasp. Now, he said we only have to keep moving forward, each one of us playing our parts, he added. Now, so I went on Google and I searched what are the parameters that can tell you that a democracy is successful, right? Now, he says some important factors are these, which are responsible for success of process of democracy. It says election. It is the fundamental basis of democracy. It says political freedom, right? It says education. It says development of means of communication, independent judiciary, accountable administration. Now, freedom to form political parties. If I were to go by these parameters, I beg to...
Because for me, we are here on the show to share our knowledge and also to learn from one another. Yeah. I didn't have the pleasure of doing that research that you did, and it's very enlightening to see the angle with which you're bringing to this point. The Vice President, I have a huge respect for him, and I salute his courage for throwing his hat in the ring to run for the role of a president, irrespective of other people's opinion.
Yeah.
For me, primaries happen before primaries actually happen.
Talking from experience.
That's why you can say we had a stress-free, itch-free, violence-free primaries, because before our primaries, the presidential primaries was actually conducted, they had to move it like 2 or 3 times. And that is to ensure that there's some level of control and understanding of the outcome. It wasn't even about the consensus.
The outcome.
Of the outcome of that election. And for me, for the first time, I was on the field. It was an experience for me. I actually witnessed a primaries that is not like a usual primary. Yes, yes. I can say that with every sense of sincerity, not as a politician, but as an independent observer who took the trouble to say, let me go and see what we're doing. Unlike the last one we had, when it was the chairmanship, everybody knew it was a consensus. It was just fulfilling righteousness. But this primary actually was an experience. But I'm saying this to say that we have a successful election is one of the things that you mentioned in the criteria for a democratic country. It is beyond that. You mentioned education, you mentioned accountability. If we have to use expression, freedom of
to form political parties,
if we have to use those parameters, I'm afraid we have not been successful as a country when it comes to democracy. And I do not think, personally, we need democracy. Personal opinion.
Okay, we'll come back to that because again, I wish Uti was able to make it to the year because you know Uti has always said that we do not need democracy. We need something in between military and democracy.
Yes.
So the way democracy is structured and where we are as a people, we are not ready.
We're not prepared for
how democracy should be practiced. But let me hear your thoughts, your initial thoughts, based on the parameters that I read, right? Because you want me to come back on it again?
No,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
It's okay. See, for me, I'm going to define what the dictionary says democracy. So I do not think that democracy has succeeded in Nigeria in the context of what democracy really is. The dictionary says is a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected reps. So for me, I would say it's supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Absolutely.
Is that what we have? Absolutely no. So if that is not, it's not for the people.
I don't think so. Reason being that if you fail to perform your duty, you do not blame another person for making a decision.
Yes. So
our people are in time past neglected their civic duties and responsibility. And they keep crying wolf that government are subserving them. When we were talking about this PVC conversation, trust me, a lot of Nigerians are not even aware of what their roles, their boundaries, the constituency they belong in.
The power they hold.
But guess what?
It's not about democracy not happening because some people are not making it happen. It's because the people are not responsible and not responsive.
I would not say that.
Okay. Can I have you punch your argument?
Wait, you will come in. But you know, see, Milola, you know why I say that.
Okay.
At the end of the day, how old is Nigeria? Come on. How old is the US? So we are trying. Yes, no, it's valid. Like you said. Yes. So I'm going to get back to that in between. I think in between makes a lot of sense until we are ready because it's a journey. But right now, I think there's still room for growth, no doubt. You know, we're talking about it with Uti the other time, and we're talking about how these politics work in other parts of the world, especially in the UK. People die, they kill the whole generation. It's brutal. Is the US system.
Over 200 years.
Thank you. How old is Nigeria?
Yeah, 60.
So I think that what we need is, like you said, it's supposed to be for the people, by the people, a government of the people. Now, who are the people? The people need to know that they are part of this thing. What we are doing right now is we are sensitizing people.
So
the Reverend Father, that just said no PVC, no church. Do you know what he's doing? He's sensitizing the public.
He's not doing it the right way.
He might not be. No. I don't think he's doing it the right way. He might not be doing it the right way. But let me tell you something. He has created awareness, whether you like it or not.
So
it doesn't work.
I want to punch a hole on your
without
argument.
Result is a
so let me punch a hole on your argument, Milola, where you said that the people neglected what it is that they're supposed to do. You know, when you were talking about the people. So in other climes, from a toddler, as soon as you are 2 years old,
educated.
So that part of education, when I was listing the parameters.
Do we not have government courses in school?
No, hold on.
No, we do not.
Do we not have
I did not.
Do we not have history?
I did not.
So let me explain something to you.
Okay.
A responsible government would educate her people.
Inculcate it
into
the plan.
First of all, when you go abroad, when you are abroad, they look forward to turning 18 because they know
it's their right to vote.
I am excited about it, and I'm going to get my voters, authority to be able to vote for any government, right? So if you as a government, you have not educated, and that's why I beg to disagree with the what's it called? The vice president. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. No, even the vice president. Okay. I also disagree with the fact that you say Nigerians have neglected.
Yes.
We do not know. Ignorance.
Ignorance is bliss.
The amount of ignorance that is playing out, even older people. Let me tell you something. You said it is because you entered the field. You began to see firsthand.
So you know things that we don't know.
You remember, Manny, I was saying on this table that I didn't even understand. Even when we brought in experts to explain the delegate system, I still did not understand what it meant until I was observing your elections, observing everybody's elections.
And whose responsibility is that?
So hold on, that's what I'm saying.
We've gotten to that. See,
is that the government's responsibility?
Yes, it's the government.
Is it the school's responsibility? We need to put this responsibility in the right quarters. If not, we're having cross-cutting issues.
Let me
we'll be passing which is what we are doing now.
From one person to
the other. So that is what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Who is in charge of the school curriculum?
Thank you.
That says that it must be mandatory that a child from 2, as soon as they're in nursery 1,
yes,
you should start getting to understand
politics.
Thank you, but the basics of governance, the basics of politics. But you see, we do not have that. Now, my sister that is supposed to be like an outsider, would I call it, because she's married, she's Nigerian, but she's married to a foreigner. When she was going to get her, what's it called? Her red passport, what do they call that thing? She was mandated to read the history. She was mandated. So we are not all about that.
We just carried out the NIN exercise in Nigeria. So many people still have their numbers bad up till today. Guess what? Do you know that yours inclusive, right? Yes. Do you know that if the government says before you get your NIN, you have to get your PVC card, you have to join a party and get a party card or be a party.
You can't force people to join.
See, let me tell you, PVC. Okay, fine. If you say let's give out the party card, but at least the PVC, you must have a PVC. So your PVC should be linked to your NIN. It's a no-brainer. Yes.
I think we're a reactive people instead of being a proactive people.
So what's your suggestion for proactivity?
I believe we tend to react when there's an outcome. Yes. We do not plan for a government. We do not understand the structure. Everything has a structure and it has a path with which it follows. Yes, the government is supposed to enable people to have a democratic system. And one of the ways to do that is to educate people. You read it when you were giving us the point. And it goes down to whose responsibility, who is going to bear this cut. We need to separate the issues and not join them and say, okay, the government has failed because the people are not allowed. You cannot force people to join party. It's a choice.
Okay. But
you cannot force people to have a PVC. It's a choice.
It's supposed to be a national responsibility.
Yes, but it's a choice. You choose to go to school. The government can provide an enabling environment, free education, whatever institution they put in place. You still reserve the right to say, I want to go to school, I want to go to the farm. You don't force things. What you want to do is to make it an enabling environment, to make sure that the system works in such a way. Are you reading a quote for?
Go ahead.
To make sure that the system works in such a way that people are enlightened enough to make an informed decision
Regarding
because
politics.
really, I think that when we look at all of these issues, we normally jump on conversation that trends, and then we start to attack it, and then we start to address it. There's a lot. This thing is a cacophony of issues. They are all interconnected and Before you can start to fix it, first of all, get separated from it. One of the things that I try to do in life is to practice detachment. Step away from the issue. Or it's always very hot on. When you are very hot on, you are entangled with the situation and you are biased. You want to first of all step away. How did we get here? We need to go back to the drawing board. Whether we're using democratic system of government or we're going back to the military, we need to understand the fundamentals.
We can't go back to the military.
You have to. The same thinking that has brought us this far has created a problem that this level of thinking cannot solve. This is about Einstein. We cannot continue to address, attack, complain, and not do anything about this
While I
system.
like what you're saying, I also still think it's the responsibility of the government to sensitize the people in politics.
I say to you again, my darling sister, we are a blame-pushing individual.
I am passionate, yes, I agree, but I'm not biased, right?
No, I do not
but
say that.
let's
I
take
you
a break.
tend to be,
let me take a break because I will come back to read the parameters, and that's where my conversation is coming from.
Okay.
Because
Do we have
if
any
you
comment from
so
anybody
my
about
child
this?
was my son was 2 years old when he was taken to his school. I was trying to transfer him to a new school to go and write an entrance exam, and he went there, and they came back and said, oh, he didn't pass, that he failed, but his brother did so well because the brother was going to year 1, he was going to nursery 1. But the brother did so well, and usually let me finish. You would understand where I'm coming from. That he was the brother was going to year 1, he was going to nursery 1, that he didn't pass, that he failed. But their policy in the school is that siblings must be together. So because of his older brother, and he did excellently well, they have to take him, but he has to come back to write the exam again. He came back the second time and wrote the exam. He failed again.
Jeez.
So now what?
Wait now, let me finish. He failed again.
Nursery 1.
Nursery 1. He was supposed to write 1 to 10.
Well, which school is that?
That's a
very bad school.
Wait, no, it's not a bad school. It's not a bad school.
How can a nursery 1 fail?
Wait, let me finish. You are taking
bad teachers are that?
You're taking the attention from the conversation. Listen.
Okay, sorry.
So when he eventually, I went and I met him. I said, what's happening? That you didn't write? He said, because nobody has taught me, I do not know.
Aww.
So the point is, immediately he entered the school, they had already told me that I would need to work with him, work with the teachers. Do you know, I never went back to the teacher to say, is there a problem? Because as soon as he was exposed to the learnings, he adapted immediately. So it's the same issue. Do you understand? When I see people blaming Nigerians to say that they do not know, you haven't explained to these Nigerians the importance of their citizenship, the role of the citizen. How do you expect them to win?
Do you know that Nigerians don't even know their rights as citizens? Do you know that Nigerians don't even know what a citizen is, who a citizen is? Milola, let's not even look at
when we come back from the break, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Wow.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
All right, thanks for staying with us. This is two women today. somebody has said your noise is too much. Talk one at a time. So let's calm down, please. So if you just tuned in, right? Our topic today is we're asking a question that has democracy succeeded in Nigeria? That's the question. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. We have a lot of messages, but we'll take them much later. So, I mean, that's the conversation. So you were talking about citizens not knowing their rights and all of that.
Yes, not knowing their rights and all that. So there's a bigger problem. So when we talk about politics, let me tell you the truth. How old am I? I'm old enough.
Well, over 40.
Milola, step aside. Let's go outside. Okay, so what I'm saying is, when did I start getting interested in politics? Only recently. Honestly, I would say yes, only recently, and I'm well educated. So I just think that, like you said, there has to be an interest and understanding. So sometimes we tend to not go close to areas that we don't understand.
And I'm telling me, Lola,
yes,
that interest and understanding comes
from knowledge.
No, it even comes from when the government makes it, the pride that an American will tell you that I'm an American, yes. Yeah. So the government must make it, see, they are deliberately keeping Nigerians ignorant when it comes to political matters. So a government that is transparent, let me finish, a government that is transparent will know that it is important. See, because they thrive. Let me finish. They thrive on the ignorance of the citizens. Yes. Right? It is based on ignorance that all of these things that you're talking about
they want to keep them uneducated,
if a government was really
uninterested,
thank you. If a government
discouraged,
thank you. If a government was really sincere, right, about a proper democracy and governance, good governance, the government will make it mandatory that you know it right from a toddler.
Yes.
And put it and inculcate it in the curriculum.
Take it easy.
I would never take away the fact that our government has failed us and continue to fail us perpetually.
Yes, absolutely.
I would never fail the fact that the institutions that should channel and endear people towards learning and interested in politics has not been adequately established. There is no doubt that the challenges that plague us are synonymous with third world country. For me, we need to go back to that.
Yeah.
We should stop comparing apple with oranges. Yes, we need to look at people that are doing better than us to be able to inspire us to do better.
Absolutely.
But we need to also look at the peculiarity of our climb and identify where did we go wrong and what are the challenges and how can we fix this thing. The government is not doing it. In fact, the governors have not done nothing. But sometimes when I look at it, I say, we address government as if they're an external party. Government emanated from us.
Absolutely.
We are the government. You know somebody in government, I know somebody in government. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm putting myself into politicking, which means I'm also a government or in government. So it then goes back to collective responsibility.
Yeah.
I believe that the government should do this and do that and do that and do that and do that. But a tree does not make a forest. It's not something that one institution should be allowed to. When we look at the families, what are we doing about teaching our children, It was only until I took interest in politicking that my daughter starts to understand what path I have followed. And for me, it is important that I live my life in such a way that every aspect of my life is a learning curve for me and for the people that are in my immediate space, particularly my two daughters. Now, because of my interest in politics, I took it upon myself to start to enlighten them. If I did not take up that civic responsibility, it is not government responsibility. It is my responsibility.
No,
to take ownership. Babes,
please.
Let me say this. It's still in this same country.
You say that because you know enough to say that.
No, ma. It's still in this same country. It's still this same failed system. It's still this same corrupt system that I came out from. But I choose.
When did you get interested in politics?
From time immemorial. From the time I was in uni.
If you ever
go and check, there's something I put out there. I said I want to be the first female president. And I said this, and I'm not joking, and I said this when I was just in my 200 level. It is maybe it emanates from a place that is deeper than I can explain.
Probably.
But it is a personal choice. Still a product of this failed system. But I took the responsibility to say that I would try. If I perish,
Very.
Okay, so let's take some comments because this is quite getting interesting.
It's interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, good evening, ladies. Milola's tone has changed after running from Abuja.
Thank you.
She may have to. She may have been spending from the inner caucus funds of the political parties. No, he's only joking. Ade from the UK.
She's shining. I appreciate that. And it is fine that you hold that thought. But you know, we all have to take the responsibility of self-enlightenment. And that's why if I have a bias or a different angle to conversation, it's so that we can enrich
Absolutely.
understanding. We all can't be going in the same direction.
No.
Sometimes when I watch the show, I wish I'm on the show. I say, hey, by the time I bring my own angle, it will be a totally different conversation.
Right.
So
and it goes to say that I'm not defending government. I expect we to be more
I think it's because of your experience, Milola. We shouldn't put that aside, please.
Okay.
It's your experience. You've gone in, you've seen how it works. You now see how important the people are. Hence my statement that government is for the people, by the people. You understand? So if we want to talk about politics, there are a lot of things, or democracy. When you look up, it's supposed to be a level playing ground for everybody, right? Yes. But look at the amount of money that is spent.
Let me continue. Let me continue my parameters.
Let
me continue my parameters. Independent judiciary. Have we had that?
No.
Thank you. So I'm not being sentimental or biased.
Read the first one. Let's say yes and no, so that we know how.
So election. It is the fundamental basis of democracy. We conduct elections.
Yes.
So let's give it to them. Political freedom, do we have that? No.
Relatively, yeah.
We don't.
I would say no, because before I came on the show, someone sent a family member sent a message, and she's watching me right now. She said, please don't let people know who you support for security purposes. So, of course, I would say there is no political freedom.
Thank you. Okay, education, no. Development of means of communication. Our government.
Not adequate.
Thank you. Independent judiciary, no. Accountable administration,
zero.
Freedom to form political parties,
No. There are a lot of political parties. Come on, ladies.
There are a lot of political parties, but there were also cases of where people said that
they wanted
to form political
and they were like, no,
we can't take that.
Okay, that's half.
So let's give it to them. Yes. Half, right? So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, they only have 2.
Wow.
3.
Come on.
So how is democracy supposed to thrive in Africa?
So let me read the comment that says,
babe, where I say we are not ready for democracy.
We're not ready. Yeah.
So yes, the democracy is successful in Nigeria. I don't want to remember the devilish years of Sani Abacha. He has destroyed Nigeria. I don't know what your name is, but thank you for your comments. Let's take more comments, ladies.
Okay, let me check what I have. Okay, can I go?
Okay, go.
Good evening, ladies, and happy Democracy Day. Have we, as a nation, succeeded in democracy? I think we're still far from having an ideal one. We need to improve on the process of selection of candidates, campaign, voting, and governance. The legislature, executive, and judiciary should be truly independent. I was saddened that nobody queried the governors how they got fund they wasted before presidential primaries. We'll succeed when elected leaders are responsible and accountable. Thank you so much, BC.
Thank you, BC.
That was very spot on.
Absolutely. Money.
Riveting. Oh. So, okay, mine says, greetings, ladies. Milola. Reverse statement. Hope without understanding is almost a mirage. Thank you.
Thank you.
So someone says, it is only elite people, especially Lagosians like you people, that failed to understand democracy. Ask any Hausa man. He will explain what it is, I think he's supposed to say. We should stop blaming the government for ignorance. I beg to differ.
I agree partially.
I beg to differ.
I agree partially.
Let me give Manny, your friend's comment. So, I beg to differ, right? So this is not a fun. I get it that when it comes to northerners, stop any northerner on the road today. They have their PVC. They are ready for elections.
Is it because they're enlightened?
Hold on.
Or because they are instructed?
That's my point.
Yeah, they're programmed.
So you can't come out and tell me that it is only us Lagosians
Our
that
responsibility.
It's
Thank
not.
you.
It is the government's responsibility. Now, you have a PVC. You saw the votes. They could not read and write. I mean, we're having Dayo Olani.
What to do.
They were not even telling them. They were helping them to write it. True. They would just return it back to them and they put it in the ballot box. Is that what you call an election?
No.
Where somebody, you cannot even read or write. You don't know anything.
You don't even know anything. You don't know the
name of the person you want to vote for. Is it bad that you cannot write the name of the person?
No, you don't get it. Okay. You don't get it. It's not about whether you bad or not.
We didn't hear them choosing.
You understand? It's not choosing. This person just comes and they hand you
a written
thing and you submit it. So is that what you tell me that is democracy? That's horrible, right? I mean, what's her name? Dayo. A political senatorial aspirant. What's her name? Dayo Olani.
An aspirant.
An aspirant. They came out to say that even the people that they eventually picked as the delegate, that they were supposed to be the rightful delegates,
they changed the list.
They changed the list.
You are joking.
Yes, they changed the list. And that's how, I mean, we are going to have her by God's grace next week, Monday. They changed the list.
Oh, she's coming on the show.
Do you understand? So what I am saying is, you cannot tell me that because you guys have a PVC means that you are not ignorant. You are completely ignorant.
Exactly.
You are ignorant.
It's not about PVC.
It's not about PVC.
It's about education. And the government is supposed to provide an enabling environment for adequate education, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the part where I agree with me, Lola, is that, okay, we know that these delegates are chosen at the ward state, right? Ward level.
Yeah.
So we as citizens are supposed to participate in this.
At different
local
governments at the ward level.
Okay, so Milola, if we participate, you just said that they changed the list.
No. The quality of minds of people present at ward level
agree.
Is easily.
I agree.
Is easy to manipulate.
I agree.
See, I say that before you can participate in an election, you have to be how old again? 18 years.
18
Which
years.
means on an average you should be in university.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the fact that Nigerians need to be more responsible. I still stand on that point that we can't keep passing the entire buck and say it's just entirely government.
So it also goes back to the fact that government must ensure free education for all so that the masses will be educated.
I mean, come on, free education does not guarantee quality education.
Milola, let me tell you something.
Education first.
Let me tell you something. It is only someone that has been wooed, I've been toasting you from when you were a child, giving you the possibilities of what your thumb can do, right? That you will look forward to going to get a PVC once you turn 18.
Do you know one thing?
If you have not given me the picture, you've not painted the vision to say, Uwa.
This is the possibility.
Yes, that's the possibility. I will never go out of my way. Now, look at our young people.
Wow.
How many of them, right, are coming out to say they want to go get their PVC?
Let me tell you something.
That now they have to use music and dance to lure them to go and get their PVC. You don't have to do that. If I know that, this country can be great, but it has to be...
And the leadership would affect me.
I think we are an entitled people.
Okay.
Milola Tiwa online.
We are entitled people. And the moment we keep on doing this, we will never grow. See, let me tell you something. One thing that awakens the human soul is suffering. Trust me, pleasure does not fix nobody.
I believe that.
You have to go through the rigor of pain, of sacrifice, for you to come out renewed. We need to stop this comparing our country with developed countries.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
It's not working.
What works there will not work here.
Yeah.
We need to look at it and say, okay, we have added. What about we approach it from enough is enough? And we really go the extra yard to really say enough is enough. People want change. People ask for change, but people are not ready to pay the price for change. This is why we have the government we have. It's not about the lack of education. Do you want to try the level of education that my people have? Do you not see them on social media? Okay, do you not see how they attack one another? Do you not see how they tear each other apart?
Yes. Ignorance are two different things.
They are enlightened enough. They are educated enough.
That's where you miss it. We are saying that even us here, with the level of education that we have, we didn't understand. We were not enlightened politically.
We
were politically illiterate.
You were not.
No. You you do not become interested in something you know not about. So we were not involved because we were not
at a particular
enlightened.
level, your parents and the government are responsible for your welfare.
I hope you know when I turned 18, I got my PVC.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you now.
But
because
I'm saying,
my father is someone that
you don't want to touch politics. Why?
I'm not interested
so what's
in
the point
politics.
Of getting a PVC?
I'm not interested in like
so you wanted to take
office.
It for voting?
Yes, I love to participate.
Voting since you turned 18?
Of course, I've been voting.
Since you turned 18?
She has been voting.
See, babes, see. Let's share the responsibility. If we leave too much weight on one side, the thing is going to tilt over.
I agree with you. But
for me, it's about bringing balance to this conversation.
We talked about schools and curriculum.
Letting people know that they have responsibilities.
Milola, we talked about the government. We talked about the schools and adding politics or history.
It's the government that still creates the schools.
Yes, so
then
the burden goes back to the government.
Thank
you.
I
rest my case.
I am saying that the government has failed to deliver. Do we keep crying wolf and throw our
So
hands
let me tell you how it's
So what's
happen.
the next?
So that's why we are arming ourselves now.
Yes,
with
so let me tell you
with the
how.
PVC. No. PVC doesn't fix nothing.
But it's a first step.
It's a
step
so
in the right direction.
People do not understand what is going on behind
Tell
us. You need to know that PVC does not guarantee you nothing.
Yeah, but
if there's anything you need to start
saying
to
that
inculcate,
you might be discouraging some people. So PVC is the first step. It's a good
we
step.
are not trying to paper
PVC,
over the
but
cracks.
Get involved as well.
Let's not paper over the cracks. Let's fix the crack. Let's not pretend that, yeah, let's just get PVC. No, it doesn't fix it. You see, this attitude of trying to do bare minimum is the problem we have in this country. Let's agree that we have messed up. And let everybody start to go back and take responsibility.
Milola, we should give
Nigerians
right now and wait for another 8 years.
No, I would never say that.
So what are we
if
going to
all
do?
Nigerians start to amalgamate in terms of knowledge, the schools have failed to deliver to us. We have a lot of... It was just like when we're leaving school. If you fail WAEC, what do? You write GCE. You write A-levels. There are alternative sources of education.
Okay.
If the people can decide to take their destiny into their hands and create... We create power for ourselves. We create water for ourselves. Why? Because it's a means of survival. We do not take the extra trouble to acquire extra knowledge because we think, yeah, we'll be fine. Let's take responsibility and start to provide platforms. One of the reasons why I love Kunle Lawal is the platform that he created for enlightening people on elections.
Yeah,
and a number of times I have watched that thing, I have learned significantly. Let us as individuals create associations.
So, Milola,
we will challenge the government with the strength of our relevance and knowledge.
With this
not by complaining.
Milola, with this new knowledge,
we are always complaining and passing the ball.
Milola,
we are always complaining and
we be coming down.
We are on national team.
Milola, be coming down with the new knowledge that you have, the new insight that you have into deep mysteries. Can you set up something like what?
Of course,
Lawal has done?
I don't need to set up a parallel one. I can reinforce it. I can be
you
part
can even
of
do
the
it
system.
for girls. You can go to secondary schools.
Without a
do
doubt.
A lot.
You do not know.
I would like to work with you.
You do not
on that.
know, my babe. You do not know. When I realized that, I can't just be given a ticket on a platter because people don't trust you.
Yes, true.
And you don't blame them.
Yeah.
You just came. Fine woman. What should they find?
Yeah.
People cannot connect with the art of service that I carry to the table. They just look at you like, who's your godfather? Who's funding you? What's
there
your
has
agenda?
to be some
There's a lot of
backbone.
cynicism around the fact that you took the liberty to leave your comfort zone and come to the rural community.
There's
they
something
could not
else.
see beyond the desire. So what
believe.
do? You enlighten them. You woo them. You come down from your own maneuvering and identify with them. With time, they start to believe in you. Reform and changes start from within.
So
and it takes time.
I would like Milola to say it as it is. In Nigeria, we also need to compete with other countries. So what she, obviously the person saying that
it's been an interesting conversation.
Because Milola said we can't be copying them.
We can need to compare apples with apples. Yeah. I was just going to say to Milola that movement is already happening. We are not passing.
It's already happening. The fact that we are
not doing enough.
There are skits. Manny, you have a comment. There are skits that goes to say, if you know PVC, I won't no show for tonight. Husband and wife.
Yeah, no PVC, no salary.
No salary. I won't give
I
you.
make skits and memes about serious conversation. We're a joke of a country. I'm sorry, we don't take our life very seriously. And as long as we continue to have this attitude of we joke over it, we will continue to, our government will continue to laugh.
Milola, we joke over everything.
Manny, you had a comment over. We have run out of time.
Good evening,
It's been an amazing
my dear beautiful sisters.
We're gonna
What
continue
are
this.
you saying? #ways. The question is, has democracy succeeded in Nigeria? To me, the answer is a capital no. There is no too much talk about this. Years back, we had no freedom of speech and movement, no good education, lack of accountability of administration. My dear beautiful sister Damilola said something serious and important. She said that we need to go outside and learn from people that are better than us, and it is true for us to have true and genuine democracy.
On that
Sister
note,
Damilola, you are welcome back, looking
Thank you.
beautiful and great. My
Before
name
we
is
go-
Daniel Ilo Ways.
Are you trying to keep your comments short, Daniel? Thank you. Before we go do a show, thank you so much, ladies. We had a fantastic conversation. I think we have to do a part 2
There will not
tomorrow.
have been space for a guest.
At all.
Really?
Before we go do a show, you follow us on Instagram at Wayshow Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Democracy is not an easy form of government because it is never final. It is a living, changing organism with a continuous shifting and adjusting of balance between individual freedom and general order. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Hello, this is the Greater Lagos Vision, and I'm your host, Love Ikuku Oyedokun. Since assumption of office in May 2019, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has maintained his commitment to ensuring safe mobility of residents and ease of doing business in the state. This was demonstrated through the official launch of a security-fitted apparatus, safe, comfortable, and modernized taxi scheme, codenamed LagRide, with a rollout of the first batch of 1,000 brand new GSC automobiles at the State House in Alausa, Ikeja. The ride-hailing taxi initiative, which has been operated on a lease-to-own basis, is a component of the state government's multimodal transportation blueprint being executed under the traffic management and transportation pillar of the themes agenda of the Sanwo-Olu administration. This is the Greater Lagos Vision. Welcome once again. I'm Love Ikuku Oyedokun. This episode features infrastructure, Sanwo-Olu State's commitment to ensuring seamless mobility to deploy technology for enhanced movements. Transportation, Lagos State set to host Medi National Transport Technology Conference. Lagos Blue Line Rail, Sanwo-Olu says project will be electrified once vendors to stay away. Any city without a fully functional infrastructural system will suffer a setback. As such, engineers must be well trained in order to bring to bear their professional attributes to the growth of the nation. From an infrastructural perspective, the Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Transport Authority, LAMATA, Engineer Abimbola Akinaju, stated this during her presentation at the 2022 Alumni Luncheon of the University of Lagos Faculty of Engineering Alumni Association in Lagos. It was a reunion, a veritable networking opportunity for the alumni of the Faculty of Engineering, University of Lagos. It was also an avenue to give back to their alma mater through the launching of a 500 million naira fundraising project for the faculty. Away from that, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team cashed in on the opportunity provided by the reunion to tell the impact of the alumni on the state's infrastructural development in less than 3 years.
And so the blue line you can see is a massive feat of engineering, and I'm sure all of you need to be proud of it. From 4 lanes, we changed the design to 10 lanes. So we took a massive right of way to do 10 lanes, and we were very smart to keep a rail corridor in the middle of it. So the alignment actually is about 16 lanes, because when you've done 10 lanes and you still have enough alignment to keep a rail, corridor, was a main feat. And that's why we're able to, preserve, and which was the most difficult option to take. But because we were committed at that time to say, you know what, let's have the audacity to want to do it, and that's why, we started it.
The 4 stations, Mile 2, Alaba, Igomo, and National Theatre, they're completed. You will notice that Mile 2 and Alaba, they have 2 concourses. Obviously, that's based on studies that had been done to determine sort of ridership that we would get, and we realized that, it's obvious. Mile 2 is a market area, so there's a lot of people there. So that's why we have 2 concourses that allows us to take on more passengers. It's the same thing in Igomo. Same thing in Alaba. Igomo and National Theatre are also completed. We have pedestrian bridges at each of those stations that allows us to bring passengers from one side of the expressway.
The Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, spoke with journalists on the sideline of the event.
Infrastructure is owned by all. So it means that as an individual, you have a responsibility. Something has been built, not to destroy it, not to vandalize it. And so therefore, people also need to be aware and also take ownership. And that's what I always say. If something belongs to you, you are not likely to go and destroy it.
She also told the forum that over 5,000 people affected by the construction of the rail have been compensated by the Lagos State government. The Lagos Blue Line Rail on completion will be running on electric tracks with electric motor vehicle EMV, and as such, citizens have been warned to keep off the train lines. Handing down this warning shortly after inspecting the Blue Line Rail, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured Lagosians that the completion date of the 2 rail projects remains. The train took off from the National Theatre Igomu to Orile, through Alaba, Mile 2, and back to the Marina Axis of the state, having Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, some members of his cabinet, officials of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, and contractors handling the project on board. The governor inspected the ongoing works on the Blue Line Rail project and stations, and a new 4-coach train, which according to him is a typical train that will be used on the Blue Line. He expressed satisfaction at the pace of work, maintaining that the project will be delivered on schedule. Sanwo-Olu was unhappy at the level of vandalism along the rail corridors and warned perpetrators to desist from such acts.
There are electric trucks. They are going to be running on electricity, and you will know that citizens or passengers or anybody whatsoever cannot walk on those things. Right, so gentlemen of the press, you have that responsibility. From now, we'll begin to mention that. For the next 6 months, 8 months, begin to mention that this track is not like the red line. The red line is DMU, but the blue line is EMU. So these are some of the communications that we need to begin to pass out, and they are electric train lines.
The governor also assured that adequate security would be put in place at every station and platform with the use of CCTV. He disclosed that the state was set to bring in from China additional 2 sets of 4 train coaches by September and October.
The additional trains that were procured for the blue line, we're going to be going to China when they open up, maybe in May or June, when it's completely completed, just to have a look and send it on shipment to probably get to the country before September, October. So based on the promises we gave you at the beginning of the year, we are still on track at both the red line and the blue line.
Recently, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu unveiled the first batch of 1,000 brand new GSE branded vehicles, otherwise known as Lag Ride. This for sure is another step forward in the state government's drive to develop an efficient transportation model in tune with modernity and comfort. According to Sanwo-Olu, there's no plan to run existing hailing ride operators out of business, but to offer safer alternatives and clear the roads of rickety cars used for taxi business. Joining me in this episode is the National President, E-Hailing Drivers and Private Owners Association of Nigeria, Comrade Idris Shonuga, for more insight into the scheme. Thank you so much, Comrade Idris Shonuga, for joining us today on the Greater Lagos Vision.
Thank you.
Right, you are the president of the National President, Professional E-Hailing Drivers and Private Owners Association of Nigeria. Tell us, in Lagos State, the Lagos State government just introduced recently the Lagos Ride. Tell us exactly, how has it been? How have your members been faring since the introduction?
Thank you. Our members are very happy. They are very happy in the sense that the business of Lagos Ride is going to add value to their collective existence, in the sense that they are going to be using the brand new vehicles to run their transport service on that Lagos Ride, unlike before that they use old vehicles, popularly known Tokunbo, even Nigerian old used car, to run taxi business, which in different cases develop faults at the middle of roads. It's almost impossible to maintain those vehicles, But the added advantage with Lagos Ride introduction is maintaining of those vehicles for the drivers who are beneficiaries. You see, running a transport business has been very difficult in terms of maintenance of the vehicles, because you are always on the road on a daily basis. And we don't have a good mechanic system in Nigeria. So majority of drivers patronized the road mechanics, dealing with all manners of spare part dealers, getting wrong spare parts to fix their car. At times, they spend double amount to repair the cars. And it's eating hard on them. But with the introduction of Lagos Ride, that comes with mechanical insurance, where the vehicle will be maintained for them for the period of 4 years, where the contract is between them and the Ibile Holdings, who is going to manage the operation of that business. It's a welcome development. So when we heard about this scheme that is being launched, and it concerns our industry, because the vehicle will be operated with algorithm, is online approach, unlike conventional way of transportation before, where you have to flag down. This is online, and we are e-hailers. So we approach the Ministry of Transportation that the Lagos State government cannot launch such a laudable scheme without giving the practitioner the sense of belonging, because we are e-hailers. We have thousands of trip history on Uber and Bolt, and we are professionals. So we need to get involved. So we apply, and the ministry directs us to the appropriate body that is going to pilot the Lagos Ride, which is the Ibile Holdings. So we met the MD, and we had to ask to write a proposal. We did not lobby. First of all, as a body, they deal with body, they deal with individuals. From the conversation, we approach them as a body. Then I think when I met the MD of Ibile Holdings, he made us to understand that the associations, the individuals, Lagosians who are interested in the scheme can apply. We apply as an association. You understand? Then the procedure is like every other person. The requirement to be a beneficiary of LagRide is uniform. 20% equity contribution of the asset of 7.5 million. The interest of 10% for the period of 4 years. You have the equity, you have the down payment of 1.8 million, which we see it will be very impossible for a member, ordinary e-hailing drivers, to benefit from this scheme with such amount, because it is so huge for e-hailing drivers to sum up 1.8 million as a deposit. It means the ordinary person cannot be partaker of this scheme. So we appeal that is there any other way, and they gave us two banks, FCMB and Polaris Bank, precisely to give us loan, and they came up with corporate guarantee on behalf of the association for a member to be a beneficiary. The Polaris Bank will borrow our members. They said 1.8 million. You understand? Why are we standing for them? You understand? So, and our member has been applying. But besides, we, the individual members, also need to have some certain contribution from that 1.8 million, 20% equity contribution of 1.8 million, which is around 300,000. And we have employed our drivers, advised them to key into this, because it's going to make life better for them. Then, the most interesting part of it that makes us to subscribe to Lagos Ride is that what the union stand for is workers' right, the workers' welfare. Because we noticed that the government has been less concerned on the informal sector, because our interest is in the informal sector. The e-hailing drivers fall in informal sectors, and informal sector has been neglected for a long time. Some certain benefit workers' right has been denied, such as HMO. pension scheme plan, opportunity to have cooperatives, then perhaps mortgage plan. These are set of workers that solve problem of transportation in the state, moving passenger from one point to another point with expected professional service. They need to be taken care of. But to my dismay, all these things has been embedded in Lagos Stride business scheme, because our own concerns is that what are the provisions for the drivers that are going to drive this business? And we're made to understand that 1.5% commission has been set aside for the driver and their family of 4, which is what we HMO, Health Management Scheme, under the plan. You see, when they charge 25% commission of each transaction consummated under the platform, 4% out of it goes into comprehensive insurance and mechanic insurance to maintain that vehicles, which I see as a welcome development. It wasn't anywhere included in their current module of operandi with other hub companies. And if Lagos State government put this in their business plan, I think, they are coupling international standard practice, which is why we are very happy with Lagos State government, particularly Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for making sure that all these things are embedded in Lagos Ride. With the notion of Lagos Ride, when we had meeting with them, if they follow all the process to the letter, I think it will reduce traffic congestion in Lagos.